In 2020, the internet exploded with the shocking conspiracy theory. People believed Wayfair, the massive online furniture retailer, was secretly involved in human trafficking. Why? Because certain storage cabinets were listed for $10,000 or more, and strangely, some of them had the exact same names as missing children. Was this a massive corporate cover-up, a glitch, or just another case of internet hysteria gone too far? Today we're taking a deep dive into the Wayfair trafficking conspiracy. Hello everyone and welcome back to Lindsay Unfiltered, and today we're talking about the Wayfair conspiracy theory. It's quite an interesting conspiracy theory, and it will be W for our A to Z scandal series. We're almost done the A to Z scandal series. If you haven't checked it out, I go over scandals from A to Z. Let's not waste too much time. Without further ado, let's talk about this Wayfair conspiracy theory. First, let's talk about what is Wayfair. Wayfair is an American e-commerce company that specializes in selling furniture, home goods, and decor. It operates online and offers a wide variety of products. Now, personally, I've bought things from Wayfair. Bedding, I've bought mattresses, and they send a lot of emails telling me that everything is 90% off. When I get to the site, it doesn't seem like everything is 90% off, but I digress. We all have heard of Wayfair in some form or fashion. Let's discuss the origin of the Wayfair conspiracy theory. Some take it back to Reddit, and Reddit has a subreddit called r/conspiracy, and Wayfair is all over it, with people trying to explain how these storage cabinets were tens and thousands of dollars. And it didn't seem like an appropriate price at all. What made it seem even more sinister, though, was the fact that these very expensive cabinets had the names of missing children that were missing around that time. So the conspiracy theory is that Wayfair was posting these listings, but they were really children being shipped to the address. There were also pillows that were overpriced, a $10,000 pillow cover with the name of someone who had recently gone missing. So this made people's antennas go up. People were talking about this on Twitter, and more people joined in and put their tin hats on to try to reveal the truth about Wayfair.
Really? Murphy beds? Murphy beds, Wayfair. Who's named Murphy? Somebody look up Murphy. Murphy about to get sold. Murphy about to get sold.
Now we have to talk about the evidence. What made people believe that Wayfair was this hub for human trafficking? Again, when we look at these pictures, they are very expensive products that are nowhere in that range. Nowhere in that range. A pillow cover for $10,000, a cabinet for $13,000. That was off-putting. But for me, I've gone on eBay and I've seen things that are worth $1 listed for $500. People just do weird things when it comes to pricing items. I understand that much because I've seen things on eBay way overpriced, right? But the thing that made the conspiracy that much more believable is that these young girls' names were on these items. Now, I did a search of my name, Lindsay, and tons of listings came up with Lindsay in the title. I feel as if Wayfair has millions and millions of products. For some reason, they name their products after people. I'm sure if you look up your name on Wayfair, you could actually find some products with your name on it as well. That kind of helps to debunk the conspiracy theory because all of Wayfair's products have some sort of name associated with them. It looks like someone looked really close and saw this person's missing right now and this is expensive, so something more sinister must be going on. The Wayfair scandal has been debunked, meaning likely there's little to no truth to this theory. How can we be so sure that Wayfair isn't some central hub for child trafficking. This conspiracy theory was really a buzz around 2020. So much so that Wayfair had to speak out and say there was no validity to these claims. They used a naming generator to name most of their products, and these expensive cabinets were made of high-grade aluminum, and they were for specific businesses to have and to hold and to cherish because they would keep their possessions safe. But what about the pillowcase? I'm still stuck on that. Had you just been saying that about the industrial cabinet, I would have been like, okay, that makes sense. I don't know what kind of aluminum is in that thing, but a pillow cover for $10,000? So they take some of the listings down because it's causing a huge outrage. But I'm sure if you look deep enough, there will still be highly overpriced things on Wayfair with someone's name attached to it. This just so happened to be a huge coincidence, or that's what Wayfair says. I want to know what you guys think. I don't know about a pillowcase for $10,000 being a discrepancy, and why were there so many of them with so many different names? That is weird to me. But a company as big as Wayfair having a random name generator to name products, that I don't find too far-fetched. Human trafficking organizations and law enforcement organizations started to speak out as well, saying that real trafficking just does not work this way. When we look into something called the Polaris Project, which is a leading anti-trafficking nonprofit, they say that traffickers do not sell victims via public retail websites. They also tell us that trafficking usually includes manipulation, coercion, and exploitation. And that manipulation, coercion, and exploitation is not done on Front Street, even if in disguise. It's a very hidden network that people on the surface level know absolutely nothing about. So to say that they would use something as public as Wayfair to do something as nefarious as human traffic just doesn't make sense according to the Polaris Project. And more human rights activists say that putting so much into trying to find missing children that aren't missing due to this Wayfair conspiracy takes away from the real children who are being trafficked every single day. So it is more harmful than it is helpful. Moreover, some of the alleged victims were never missing. They came out making videos saying, I was never missing. Why are y'all saying I'm involved in a Wayfair trafficking scandal? I'm right here. So that goes further to debunk it, because that means we have people in the background conjuring up and trying to make this theory have legitimacy, even when the actual victims that they used in examples are coming out to say, hey, we aren't missing. So when you start seeing that, you really start feeling like, whoa. Maybe they overstep. Maybe some people are in the background manipulating things and missing reports to further this agenda. And for what? That's the interesting part. Why would you do it? Also, like I told you guys earlier about eBay, retail issues happen. Things are marked up, things are marked down. While the story is very shady and it makes me raise an eyebrow, I just don't believe those heinous criminals are that dumb to put that information on the World Wide Web. I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's my personal opinion about it. I feel like the Polaris Project, when they say there are most definitely more steps to this. It's not just you post and you purchase. That's not how this goes. There's a secret underground network of people who know people. They're not going to broadcast it to the public, if you guys understand what I mean. Social media has become the biggest vehicle of misinformation today. We can see something on social media and our brain immediately is going to want to believe it. I know at least my brain is. So we see all of this information on social media and we're taking it in, we're soaking it in. But a lot of that information is just false and absolutely not true. The issue comes in when we use the stuff we see on social media to determine our decisions, our feelings, our attitudes, and our emotions, because we can be basing this on something that's solely false. So when I see a claim on social media, I like to back it up. I like to find other sources and things of that nature just to make me feel better about the validity of these statements. Social media has become this new vehicle that can push an agenda. It doesn't matter what the agenda is. You put it on social media, you get enough people behind it, and social media will make that idea a very plausible reality for many. It's good at fueling mass hysteria or scaring people into thinking that something horrible has happened. Now, make no mistake, human trafficking is very real and it's very horrible. I just don't believe, and a lot of law enforcement officials and other human rights activist groups don't believe that Wayfair is a part of it, right? This conspiracy theory also shows an overarching mistrust in corporations and elites. We've seen this moreover the past 5 years. A public distrust of the media, a public distrust of big corporations, and a public distrust of the elite. With Wayfair being this big company, some people believe that they are deceitful and at fault to begin with. So when something like this comes out, it only spirals that agenda even further down a crazy pipeline. So when you have these elements, social media networking, the elite, and rumors and misinformation, you can and will set the internet ablaze with conspiracy theories like this one. If you like hearing about this conspiracy theory, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day. This has been Lindsay Unfiltered. Bye now.